Part 1. The awakening Admiral Hyun-woo Kim stood at the bridge window of Earth's main defense station, watching the stars. He had been protecting Earth for 20 years, but today felt different. Something was coming. "Admiral," called Captain Bo-Ra Lee as she rushed onto the bridge. Her face was pale with worry. "We have a problem, a big one." Bo-Ra was the head of Earth's Deep Space Intelligence Division. She knew things that most people on Earth never heard about. When she looked worried, Hyun-woo paid attention. "Show me," he said simply. Bo-Ra activated the main screen. Images of strange ships appeared, moving through space toward Earth. They were not human ships. The aliens inside these ships called themselves the Valeth Empire. They had already destroyed 17 other worlds. "How long do we have?" Hyun-woo asked. 3 days, maybe 4, Bo-Ra replied. "Their main fleet has 200 warships. We have 30 ships that can fight. The math is not good for us." Hyun-woo nodded slowly. For years, Earth had appeared weak to the galaxy. Their ships used old chemical rockets, their weapons were simple missiles and lasers. Every alien race thought humans were barely capable of space travel. But Hyun-woo knew a secret, a very big secret. "Contact Shadow Base," he told Bo-Ra. "Tell them it's time." On the hidden side of the moon, Chief Engineer Dongmin Park received the message. He had been waiting for this day his whole life. Shadow Base was buried deep under the moon's surface, invisible to any alien scanner. "Begin final preparations," Dongmin announced to his team. Protocol 7 is now active. His workers moved quickly through the base. They had been building something incredible for over 100 years. Every human who worked here kept the secret, even from their own families. The galaxy thought Earth was weak and primitive. The galaxy was wrong. The Shadow Base contained Earth's greatest achievement, a network of gates that could open doorways to other dimensions. Through these gates, humanity had built their real military power where no alien could see it. Dongmin walked to the main control room. The Shadow Gate stood 30 meters tall, made of metal that seemed to bend light around it. Strange energy flowed through patterns carved into its surface. When activated, it could connect Earth to places that existed in parallel dimensions. "Sir," called one of his technicians, "we're getting a priority message from Director Ji-hai." Ji-hai Choi was the most mysterious person in Earth's government. Very few people knew she existed. She had created the Shadow Project decades ago, after Earth's first real contact with aliens. That contact was not the peaceful meeting the galaxy knew about. It was a crashed alien scout ship that humans had found and studied in complete secrecy. Shopping message was short. "Open the first gate. Let them see what humanity really is." Back on the defense station, Hyun-woo watched the alien scouts approach Earth. They moved with confidence, as if Earth could not possibly threaten them. Their ships were advanced with energy shields and weapons that could destroy cities. "Admiral," Bo-Ra said quietly, "are you sure about this? Once we reveal the truth, everything changes. We can never go back to being the weak species that nobody notices." Hyun-woo thought about Earth's history. For 100 years, humans had pretended to be primitive while secretly preparing for this day. They had sent hidden ships to study alien technology. They had built bases in parallel dimensions. They had developed weapons and defenses that no alien race had ever seen. "The aliens made their choice when they decided to attack us," Hyun-woo said. "Now they'll learn why hiding our strength was the smartest thing humanity ever did." On the lunar surface, the Shadow Gate began to glow. Energy crackled along its edges as Dongmin's team powered up systems that had taken decades to perfect. The gate could create a doorway to anywhere in the connected network. Behind those doors waited Earth's real fleet. The Valeth scouts detected the energy signature immediately. Their sensors showed something impossible. A massive power source had just activated on Earth's moon. The readings made no sense. Primitive humans did not have technology that could generate this much energy. War Commander Thexvar led the Valeth Advance Force. He had conquered 12 worlds for the Empire. Earth was supposed to be easy prey, weak creatures with slow ships, and simple weapons. But his sensors were now showing energy levels that worried him. Scan that moon again, he ordered his crew. Something is not right. Before his crew could respond, space began to tear open above Earth. A doorway of swirling energy appeared, stretching wider and wider. Through the opening, something huge began to emerge. The Veilith scouts watched in shock as the nose of a massive ship pushed through the dimensional gateway. This was not a human ship as they knew human ships. It was sleek and deadly, with armor that reflected their scanner beams and weapons ports that glowed with threatening energy. "Report to the main fleet immediately," Thexvar commanded. "Tell them the intelligence about human capabilities is completely wrong. Tell them everything we know about this species is a lie." On Earth's defense station, Hyunwoo smiled as he watched the alien ship scramble to retreat. The first vessel of Earth's secret fleet had emerged from the Shadow Gate, and it was only the beginning. "Admiral," Bora said with amazement in her voice. "They're running." "Good," Hyunwoo replied. "Let them run. Let them tell their commanders that Earth is not what it seems. Let the whole galaxy know that humanity has been playing a very long game, and now the game is over." The massive ship that emerged from the Shadow Gate was just the first. Behind it, more ships began to appear. Each one was more advanced than anything the aliens had seen from humanity before. These ships had been built with technology learned from decades of secret alien encounters, improved by human creativity and innovation. Ji-hye Choi's voice came over the communication system from her hidden command center. "Admiral Kim, you have permission to show the galaxy what humanity is truly capable of. No more hiding. No more pretending to be weak. Earth's secret fleet rises today." As the Shadow Gate continued to disgorge humanity's hidden warships, Hyunwoo knew that the galaxy was about to discover something terrifying. The species they had dismissed as primitive had been watching, learning, and preparing. And now, Earth was ready to fight back. The age of humanity pretending to be weak was over. The age of Earth's secret fleet had begun. Part 2. The Hidden Arsenal Captain. Woo Jin-han stood on the bridge of the Indomitable Spirit as his ship emerged from the Shadow Gate. The massive warship was 1 kilometer long and packed with weapons that no alien had ever seen before. This was his moment. Everything he had trained for his entire life led to this day. "All systems ready, Captain," reported Tactical Officer Yeon-soo Kim. She had grown up in the secret military program. Like most of the crew, they knew about Earth's real capabilities while the rest of humanity believed the lie that they were weak and primitive. "Weapons systems online," added Chief Weapons Officer Tae-ho Jung. "All batteries charged and ready for combat." Woo Jin looked at the alien scout ships retreating in panic. The Veilith had come expecting easy prey. Instead, they found ships that made their own vessels look like ancient relics. "Send a message to Admiral Kim," Woo Jin ordered. "Tell him the Indomitable Spirit is ready for battle." More ships continued emerging from the Shadow Gate. Sleek destroyers, heavily armed cruisers, and massive carrier vessels filled with fighter craft. Each ship used technology that combined alien science with human innovation. The result was something neither species could have created alone. The Velith War Commander Thexvar watched his scanners in disbelief. The human ships were not just more advanced than expected. They were using technology that should not exist. Their hulls were made of materials that adapted to incoming attacks. Their weapons fired projectiles that seemed to bend space itself. How did they hide all this? Thexvar muttered to his crew. Our intelligence said they barely had space travel. What Thexvar did not know was that humans had been lying to the galaxy for over 100 years. When Earth first encountered alien technology from that crashed scout ship, they made a choice. Instead of revealing themselves, they would learn and prepare in secret. Dr. Soo Min-yoon had been the key to understanding how to use alien technology. Working in hidden laboratories, she had spent 30 years figuring out how alien science worked. But she did more than just copy it, she improved it using human creativity. The aliens think in straight lines, she had explained to the military leaders years ago. They develop technology in predictable ways. Humans think differently. We see connections they miss. We find solutions they never consider. That different Thinking had created weapons that confused alien minds. Human ships could phase in and out of normal space. Human missiles could strike targets through folded dimensions. Human shields learned from each attack and became stronger. Commander Min-Ho Lee led Earth's Stealth Reconnaissance Division. His ships had been infiltrating alien space for decades without being detected. They had mapped every Valeth base, studied every alien weapon, and learned every tactical doctrine the Empire used. Admiral, Min-Ho reported to Hyun-woo from his invisible ship. The Valeth main fleet is arriving ahead of schedule. They received the panic reports from their scouts. Fleet Marshal Korthanan is leading them personally. Hyun-woo nodded. Korthanan was the Valeth Empire's greatest military commander. He had never lost a battle and had conquered more worlds than any other alien leader, but he had never faced humanity's real military power. How many ships? Hyun-woo asked. 400 warships, sir. They called in reinforcements from 3 different sectors. This is the largest invasion force the Valeth have ever assembled. The odds still seemed impossible. Even with their advanced technology, humanity only had 60 ships emerging from the Shadow Gate. The Valeth had 400, but numbers were not everything in space combat. Captain Woo Jin received new orders from Admiral Hyun-woo. Engage the enemy and show them what human engineering could do. The indomitable spirit moved toward the approaching alien fleet along with the other human warships. The first battle began when Valeth long-range missiles struck the human formation. The aliens expected their weapons to tear through human ships like they had on 17 other worlds. Instead, something impossible happened. The human ship's adaptive armor absorbed the impact and learned from it. The next wave of missiles did less damage. The third wave did almost nothing. The Valeth weapons were becoming useless as the human ships adapted to counter them. Impossible, breathed Fleet Marshal Korthanan as he watched his most powerful weapons fail. No species has ever developed adaptive defensive systems. Then the human ships fired back. Tai Ho Jung smiled as he targeted the lead Valeth vessel. Quantum torpedoes ready, Captain. These should get their attention. The quantum torpedoes did not travel through normal space. They used folded dimensions to strike targets directly, ignoring shields and armor. The Valeth ship exploded before its crew understood what had hit them. More human weapons followed. Energy beams that passed through Valeth shields as if they did not exist. Missiles that split into dozens of smaller warheads mid-flight. Fighter craft that seemed to teleport around the battlefield. Dr. Soo-min Yoon watched the battle from her laboratory ship. Every weapon system performed exactly as designed. Human creativity had produced solutions to problems the aliens did not even know existed. "Ma'am," called one of her assistants, "the alien fleet is trying to withdraw. Their commander is requesting immediate reinforcements." Soo-min nodded. This was expected. The Valeth had built their empire by overwhelming primitive species with superior numbers and technology. When they met something more advanced than themselves, their doctrine fell apart. But Admiral Hyun-woo was not finished demonstrating human capabilities. He opened a communication channel to the retreating Valeth fleet. "Fleet Marshal Korthanan," Hyun-woo said in perfect Valeth language. "This is Admiral Kim of the United Earth Defense Force. You came here expecting to conquer a primitive world. Instead, you found a species that has been studying your empire for 50 years. We know your tactics, your technology, and your weaknesses. Leave now, or discover exactly how much we have learned." Korthanan was shocked not just by the human military power, but by the fact that this primitive species spoke his language fluently. How long had they been watching? How much did they really know? "This is not over, human," Korthanan replied. "The full might of the Valeth Empire will return to crush your world." "We will be ready," Hyun-woo said simply. "We have been ready for a very long time." As the Valeth fleet retreated, more ships continued emerging from Earth's shadow gates. The galaxy was about to learn that humanity's secret was bigger than anyone imagined. Earth had not just been hiding a few advanced ships. They had been building an entire parallel civilization dedicated to defending their world. Captain Bo-Ra Lee monitored alien communications across the galaxy. News of humanity's revealed strength was spreading quickly. Species that had ignored Earth for decades were suddenly very interested in these mysterious humans. "Admiral," Bora reported, "we're intercepting emergency communications across 6 different alien governments. Everyone wants to know how we hid this from them for so long." Hyunwoo smiled. The secret was simple. Humans had learned that sometimes the best weapon was letting your enemies underestimate you. For 100 years, Earth had appeared weak, while growing strong in the shadows. Now the shadows were gone and the galaxy would never see humanity the same way again. Part 3. The Galactic Awakening. Consul Raywan Park had been Earth's representative to the Galactic Council for 10 years. For most of that time, the other species barely noticed her. Humans were considered too primitive to matter in galactic politics. Today, that changed completely. The council chamber buzzed with panic as news of Earth's revealed fleet spread. Representatives from dozens of species demanded explanations. How had humanity hidden such advanced technology? How long had they been lying about their capabilities? "Order! Order!" shouted the council speaker, a tall alien with blue skin and multiple eyes. "Consul Park, the council demands answers. How do you explain your species' deception?" Raywan stood calmly at her podium. She had been preparing for this moment her entire career. "Honored representatives," she began, "humanity never lied to this council. We simply chose not to reveal everything about our capabilities. Given that the Valeth Empire just attempted to invade our world, it appears this caution was justified." The chamber erupted in angry voices. Several species accused humanity of violating galactic treaties. Others demanded immediate military action against Earth. But some remained quiet, calculating what this revelation meant for the balance of power. Meanwhile, on Earth, the true history of human-alien contact was finally being revealed. Professor O. Gite Lim had been young when he made the discovery that changed everything. 50 years ago, he found the wreckage of an alien scout ship that had crashed in Earth's ocean. "The official first contact story is a lie," Gite explained to a gathering of Earth's leaders. "Real first contact happened when I was a graduate student. We found their ship, studied their technology, and learned that the galaxy was full of species who would see us as either slaves or targets. The decision to hide Earth's real capabilities had been made by a secret council of scientists and military leaders. If the galaxy thought humans were primitive, they would be ignored. That gave Earth time to study alien technology and develop defenses. Yoon Young Nam had led the effort to understand alien psychology and tactics. Her team studied every species in the galaxy, learning how they fought and what they feared. This knowledge became the foundation for Earth's defensive strategy. The Valeth always attack in the same pattern. Eunjung had briefed Earth's military commanders. They overwhelm primitive worlds with massive fleets, but they have no experience fighting an enemy with superior technology. When their standard tactics fail, they become confused and make mistakes. That analysis proved correct. Fleet Marshal Korthanen was now struggling with a situation he had never encountered before. His empire was built on technological superiority over primitive species. Against humans who had surpassed Valeth technology, his standard approach was failing. The Valeth leader called an emergency meeting with his allies. The Corvin hegemony and the Zephyr Confederacy agreed to send additional fleets to help destroy Earth before human technology could spread to other species. But other aliens were making different choices. The peaceful Zenthari collective sent a secret message to Earth offering alliance. They had suffered under Valeth aggression for decades and saw humanity as possible protectors. Captain Kyung-ho Song commanded the assault cruiser Rising Phoenix. His mission, planned by strategic analyst Hae-jin Moon, was to demonstrate that Earth could strike anywhere in the galaxy instantly. Using the Shadowgate network, human ships could appear at any location without warning. "Target acquired," Kyung-ho reported as his ship emerged from a Shadowgate near the Valeth home system. "Beginning demonstration strike." The Rising Phoenix attacked a Valeth military base, destroyed 3 ships, and vanished back through the gate before the aliens could respond. Similar strikes happened simultaneously at 4 other Valeth installations across the galaxy. The message was clear. Earth could hit any target at any time. The Valeth Empire's military bases were no longer safe. On Earth's lunar base, Chief Engineer Dongmin Park monitored the expanding Shadow Gate network. Each successful gate opening made the system stronger and more versatile. Soon, human ships would be able to appear anywhere in the galaxy within minutes. "Sir," called one of his technicians, "we're detecting massive energy signatures from the galactic core. Something big is waking up out there." Dongmin frowned at his displays. The energy readings were unlike anything in their databases. Whatever was creating those signatures was far more advanced than any known alien technology. Dr. In-Soo Choi, Earth's expert on ancient alien civilizations, studied the data with growing concern. The energy patterns matched theoretical projections for a species called the Architects, the galaxy's oldest and most mysterious race. The Architects disappeared millions of years ago, In-Soo explained to Earth's leadership. Most species consider them myths, but if these energy readings are real, something has awakened them, and they're taking notice of what humanity is doing. The implications were terrifying. If the Architects still existed and had been dormant for millions of years, they possessed technology beyond imagination. If humanity's use of dimensional gates had attracted their attention, Earth might face a threat that made the Valeth Empire seem weak. Admiral Hyunwoo received reports from across the galaxy as human intelligence networks hidden for decades finally revealed themselves. The scope of Earth's secret operations was staggering. Human agents had infiltrated alien governments, human scientists had studied in alien universities, and human merchants had mapped every trade route. "Admiral," Captain Bora Lee reported, "we have assets in place throughout Valeth space. Our people have been watching their military for 30 years. We know their fleet positions, their supply lines, and their communication codes." The galaxy was beginning to understand that humanity's deception went far deeper than hidden warships. Earth had been actively gathering intelligence on every major species, while pretending to be isolated and primitive. Some aliens were impressed by human cunning. Others were outraged by the deception, but all were forced to acknowledge that they had underestimated this strange species from a small yellow star. The Galactic Council descended into chaos as species chose sides. Some demanded immediate action against the human threat. Others sought alliance with Earth's newly revealed power. A few wise species remained neutral, waiting to see how the situation developed. Consul Raywan Park found herself at the center of the storm. Diplomats who had previously ignored her now desperately sought meetings. Species that had dismissed humanity now offered trade agreements and mutual defense pacts. "The galaxy has changed," Raywan reported to Earth's leadership. "Our reveal of strength has altered the balance of power. But we've also attracted attention from forces we don't fully understand yet." As if to emphasize her point, the energy signatures from the galactic core grew stronger. Something ancient and powerful was stirring, drawn by humanity's dimensional manipulation technology. Deep space monitors detected ships unlike anything in current galactic civilization approaching from the core worlds. These vessels seemed to bend reality around themselves, traveling through dimensions that most species could not even perceive. The Architects were returning, and they were coming to investigate the young species that had rediscovered their ancient technology. Whether they came as judges, teachers, or conquerors remained to be seen. Earth's secret fleet had successfully revealed itself to the galaxy. But in doing so, humanity had attracted the attention of powers far older and more dangerous than the Valeth Empire. The real test was just beginning. Part 4. The Ancient Test. The ships that emerged from the galactic core defied everything known about space travel. They moved without engines, turned without thrusters, and seemed to exist in multiple dimensions at once. The being who commanded? The lead vessel was older than recorded galactic history. Archon Prime Velthanus had been sleeping for 10 million years when humanity's shadow gate sent ripples through the dimensional fabric of space. The energy signature was unmistakable. Someone had rediscovered architect technology, but that should have been impossible. Dr. In-Soo Choi studied the approaching ships with a mixture of wonder and fear. His life's work had been researching the Architects, the mysterious race that built monuments throughout the galaxy. before vanishing without explanation. "Admiral," Insu reported to Hyunwoo, "these ships are using technology that's millions of years ahead of anything we've encountered. If these really are the architects, we're facing beings who mastered space and time before our species existed." The Architect fleet stopped at the edge of Earth's solar system and transmitted a message in perfect human language. "Young wielders of the ancient ways, you have awakened us from our long sleep. We would speak with those who have touched the deep currents of reality." Admiral Hyunwoo faced an impossible situation. The Valith Empire had assembled the largest invasion force in galactic history and was approaching Earth with over 1,000 warships. Now the mysterious architects had appeared, demanding some kind of meeting or confrontation. "Open a channel to the architect vessel," Hyunwoo ordered. "Let's find out what they want." The face that appeared on the communication screen was almost human, but subtly wrong. Felthenis had features that seemed to shift and change as he spoke, as if his physical form was not entirely fixed in normal space. "Greetings, descendants of Earth," Felthenis said. "We have watched your species for millennia, waiting to see if you would rediscover the gifts hidden in your genetic memory. Your shadow gates prove that awakening has begun." "Genetic memory?" Hyunwoo repeated, confused. "What are you talking about?" "Your species is not native to the world you call Earth," Felthenis explained. "Long ago, one of our colony ships suffered damage and crashed on your primitive planet. The survivors' memories were sealed to protect them from knowledge they were not ready to handle. You are their descendants." The revelation hit Earth's leadership like a physical blow. Humanity was not originally from Earth. They were descendants of an ancient alien colony. Dr. Insu Choi felt pieces of a vast puzzle clicking into place in his mind. "That explains why we could adapt architect technology so easily," he breathed. "We're not just learning their science, we're remembering it." On the hidden lunar base, Chief Engineer Dongmin Park watched his instruments in amazement. The shadow gates were resonating with the architect ship's presence. Energy patterns that had taken decades to understand were suddenly becoming clear and simple. "Sir," called one of his technicians, "the gate network is expanding on its own. New connections are opening automatically." The shadow gates were not just doorways between dimensions. They were fragments of something called the Universal Consciousness Network, a galaxy-spanning system designed by the architects to connect all intelligent life in harmony. But humanity's awakening had attracted more than just the architects' attention. The combined Violith-Corvin invasion fleet was now entering Earth's solar system, led by Fleet Marshal Korthanan and War Prince Thexkalar of the Corvin hegemony. "Over 3,000 ships," reported Captain Bora Lee. "Every aggressive species in this sector has contributed forces. They see our revealed strength as a threat that must be eliminated immediately." Commander Yejin Kang led humanity's most elite pilots in a desperate mission. Her squadron had been selected to test compatibility with partially integrated architect technology. The results were extraordinary and terrifying. "The ship responds to my thoughts," Yejin reported as her fighter craft seemed to dance through impossible maneuvers. "It's not just following my commands, it's anticipating what I need before I know I need it." Her neural patterns interfaced with architect systems in ways that confused even the architects themselves. Human creativity and intuition combined, with ancient technology to produce capabilities that surpassed both species working alone. Navigator Si-Young Kim plotted humanity's most ambitious strategy ever. Instead of simply defending Earth, human forces would engage enemy fleets simultaneously across 12 star systems using the expanding Shadowgate network. "We're not just fighting for survival anymore," Si-Young explained to the assembled fleet commanders. "We're fighting to prove that humanity deserves to inherit the architect's legacy." The final battle began when the Valith-Corvin fleet entered Earth's defensive perimeter. But instead of the primitive resistance they expected, they encountered something unprecedented in galactic warfare. Human ships appeared and disappeared across the battlefield using shadow gates that opened and closed instantly. Captain Wu Jin Han led the indomitable spirit through a series of dimensional jumps that put his massive ship behind, above, and beside enemy formations simultaneously. "Weapons free," Wu Jin ordered. Show them what human engineering can do when we stop hiding our capabilities. The battle was unlike anything in recorded galactic history. Human ships existed in multiple dimensions at once, striking from impossible angles with weapons that ignored conventional defenses. But the real shock came when human technology began actively converting enemy vessels. Valith warships found their weapon systems transforming into construction tools. Corvan battlecruisers discovered their engines being reprogrammed to build settlements instead of destroyers. The humans were not just defeating their enemies, they were transforming the nature of warfare itself. Captain Bo-Ra Lee, now commanding the intelligence vessel Silent Truth, discovered the deeper purpose behind the architect's return. They were not here to judge humanity's military power. They were testing whether humans could transcend the cycle of conquest and destruction that had trapped the galaxy for millions of years. The test isn't about our ability to fight, Bo-Ra reported to Admiral Hyun-woo. It's about our choice of what to fight for. Archon Prime Velthanis watched the battle with ancient eyes that had seen civilizations rise and fall across the eons. Humanity was approaching the same crossroads that had faced the architects themselves millions of years ago. They could choose to become conquerors, Velthanis observed to his fellow architects. Their technology is now sufficient to dominate this galaxy, or they could choose the harder path to become guardians and teachers. The answer came when Admiral Hyun-woo opened communication channels to the surviving enemy fleet commanders. Instead of demanding surrender, he offered something unprecedented in galactic warfare. Fleet Marshal Korthanen, War Prince Thexkalar, Hyun-woo said, "Humanity does not seek conquest. We offer you a choice. Continue this cycle of violence or join us in building something better. Our technology can transform your ships from instruments of war into tools of creation. Your soldiers can become explorers and builders instead of destroyers." The offer shocked both enemies and allies. No species in galactic history had ever offered to share advanced technology with defeated enemies instead of enslaving or destroying them. Some alien commanders accepted immediately, tired of endless warfare and attracted by the possibility of transformation. Others rejected the offer and retreated to regroup. But the most important audience for humanity's choice was the architects themselves. "Fascinating," Velthanis murmured as he watched human ships helping repair damaged alien vessels instead of finishing them off. "They have chosen the path we hoped they would find." The Shadowgate network suddenly expanded exponentially, connecting not just star systems but entire sectors of the galaxy. Humanity had passed the architect's test, not through superior violence but through superior wisdom. But the test was not over. The architects now offered humanity the same choice they had faced eons ago: transcend physical existence and join the Universal Consciousness Network, or remain as biological guardians bridging the gap between transcended and material life. The future of both humanity and the galaxy hung in the balance of that choice. Part 5. Ascension of the Silent Species Director. Ji-hai Choi stood in the heart of Earth's most secret facility, surrounded by technology that had taken humanity from primitive space travel to galactic guardianship in just a few generations. The time for secrets was finally over. The truth about humanity must be revealed, Ji-hai announced to Earth's assembled leaders. Not just to the galaxy, but to ourselves. We are not native to Earth. We are the descendants of an architect colony ship that crashed on our world millions of years ago. The revelation explained everything. Why humans could adapt architect technology so easily. Why human creativity produced innovations that surprised even ancient species. Why the Shadowgate network responded to human neural patterns with such perfect harmony. Dr. Soo-min Yoon had spent her life studying the connection between human and architect science. Now she understood that she had not been learning alien technology. She had been remembering inherited knowledge sealed in human genetic memory. Our ancestors crashed on Earth when their colony ship was damaged by a dimensional storm, Soo-min explained to the gathering. Their memories were sealed to protect them until their descendants were ready to handle the truth. The development of Shadowgate technology was the key that unlocked those memories. Admiral Hyun-woo Kim faced the final battle against the combined alien forces with new understanding. The Shadow Gates were not just weapons or transportation, they were fragments of the Universal Consciousness Network, a system designed to connect all intelligent life in harmony instead of conflict. The Valith Corvan fleet made their last desperate attack on Earth, led by commanders who refused to accept that their age of conquest was ending. Over 2,000 alien warships approached Earth's defenses with every weapon they possessed. But they were not fighting the same humanity that had hidden its strength for so long. Human ships now integrated fully with architect technology moved through dimensions like living creatures through water. Captain Wu Jin Han commanded the Piao indomitable spirit as it existed simultaneously in 12 different locations around the battlefield. All weapon systems converted to transformation mode, Wu Jin ordered his crew. We're not here to destroy them. We're here to show them a better way. Human weapons struck enemy ships not with destructive force, but with transformative energy. Valith destroyers found their weapon systems becoming medical facilities. Corvan battle cruisers discovered their engines being converted to power terraforming equipment. The alien crews watched in amazement as their ships of war became vessels of healing and creation. Some fought against the transformation, but others embraced it eagerly, tired of endless cycles of conquest and destruction. Fleet Marshal Korthanen found himself facing a choice no military commander had ever encountered. His flagship was being systematically converted from an instrument of war into a hospital ship capable of healing instead of harming. This is impossible, Korthanen transmitted to Admiral Hyun-woo. How can you change the fundamental nature of our technology? Because we understand something you have forgotten, Hyun-woo replied. All technology serves the intentions of those who wield it. When intentions change from destruction to creation, technology adapts to match. Commander Yejin Kang led her enhanced fighter squadron through the battle with capabilities that amazed even the architects. Her ships could exist in multiple dimensions, simultaneously, providing protection and aid to both human and alien vessels across vast distances. "Ma'am," called one of her pilots, "the enemy formations are breaking up. Most of their ships are accepting the conversion process. The few that refuse are retreating to the outer system." The battle was ending not with victory or defeat, but with transformation. The cycle of conquest that had dominated galactic civilization for millions of years was finally being broken by a species that chose creation over destruction. Archon Prime Velthanis watched humanity's choice with approval that spanned eons of experience. The architects had faced the same decision long ago: use their advanced technology to rule the galaxy or find a higher purpose. "They have chosen wisely," Velthanis observed. "Now they face the same choice we faced: transcend physical existence, to join the universal consciousness, or remain as guardians bridging material and transcended life." The Shadowgate network had expanded to encompass the entire galaxy, creating a web of connections that allowed instant communication and travel between all participating worlds. Through this network, species could share knowledge, culture, and understanding instead of competing for resources through warfare. Dr. Insoo Choi studied the Universal Consciousness Network with growing wonder. It was not just a transportation and communication system, it was a way for different species to literally experience each other's perspectives and emotions. "Imagine, if the Valith could feel what it's like to be conquered," Insoo explained to Earth's leaders. "Imagine if aggressive species could experience the fear and suffering they cause to others. Empathy becomes inevitable when you truly understand what others experience." Consul Raywan Park found herself at the center of a transformed galactic council. Representatives who had once plotted against each other now worked together on projects that seemed impossible just weeks before. The Harmony Accords that Raywan proposed became the foundation of a new galactic civilization. Conflicts would be resolved through the consciousness-linking capabilities of the Shadowgate network. Wars became impossible when combatants could feel each other's pain and fear directly. But the architects offered humanity one final choice. They could abandon physical existence entirely and join the architects in the Universal Consciousness Network as pure energy beings. Or they could remain biological and serve as bridges between the transcended architects and the physical species of the galaxy. Commander Yejin Kang spoke for humanity when the choice was presented. We choose to remain as we are, not because transcendence is wrong, but because someone needs to help others find their own path to growth. We'll be the bridge between what was and what could be. The architects approved. They had hoped humanity would make exactly that choice. The galaxy needed guardians who understood both physical and transcended existence, who could guide other species toward their own moments of choice without forcing them into predetermined paths. Captain Wu Jinhan found his ship transformed once again, as the indomitable spirit became something unprecedented, a vessel that existed simultaneously in physical space and the universal consciousness network. He could be present at any point in the galaxy instantly, not as a conqueror but as a protector and guide. The Valeth Empire dissolved as a military force but evolved into something better. Former war fleets became exploration vessels and construction ships. Species that had conquered worlds began helping those worlds heal and grow. Chief Engineer Dongmin Park watched from his lunar base as the Shadowgate network stabilized into its final form. The gates no longer connected just human facilities. They linked every world that chose to join the new galactic community. "Sir," called one of his technicians, "we're receiving requests for gate connections from over 300 worlds. Species we've never even heard of want to join the network." News of humanity's transformation of galactic warfare had spread throughout the galaxy. Species that had hidden from aggressive empires for millennia were emerging to participate in a civilization based on cooperation instead of conquest. Admiral Hyunwoo Kim stood once again at the bridge window of Earth's defense station, but now he looked out at a transformed galaxy. Human ships patrolled not as conquerors, but as protectors, ensuring that no species suffered the cycle of violence that had trapped civilization for so long. "Admiral," Captain Bora Lee reported with satisfaction in her voice, "we're receiving gratitude messages from 17 different species whose worlds were liberated by our transformation technology. The Xanthari Collective wants to establish formal alliance. Even some former Corvin worlds are requesting Shadowgate connections." The galaxy had feared that Earth's secret fleet would bring conquest and domination. Instead, humanity had brought something far more powerful and far more dangerous to those who profited from conflict and war. They had brought hope. Director Ji Hai Choi's final report to Earth's government was simple. Mission accomplished. Humanity has taken its place not as rulers of the galaxy, but as its guardians and teachers. The age of endless warfare is ending. The age of cooperative growth has begun. Earth's secret fleet had risen at last, but not as weapons of war. They had become instruments of transformation, proof that even the most advanced technology was only as good as the wisdom and compassion of those who wielded it. The shadow gates that had once hidden humanity's strength now connected the galaxy in bonds of understanding that made conquest obsolete and cooperation inevitable. The silent species had finally spoken, and their words had changed everything.